Rod sighs, running a hand through his hair.
I told you that I would help you break your curse, right? That offer alone should be enough for you to know that I... I really hope that you're able to help Emmeline and Rod.
I hope so too.
Did you see Ophelia the other day?
Uh-oh. I catch sight of two noblewomen sitting on a bench together not too far away from the toy shop. They're referring to Ophelia without her title. How disrespectful.
Who would have thought a peasant like her could almost look like royalty?
But her dress! As the queen, she ought to be wearing silks rather than satin. I do not know why, but I bristle at their comments. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, but the fact that they are speaking so bluntly in public means they have little worry of being overheard.
I'm still not sure what the king saw in her.
You bitch!
Ooh.
Well, you know what they say about ladies lacking natural beauty. Her talents must lie in other, more persuasive areas.
What a bitch.
What a fucking bitch.
She must be very persuasive indeed if the king saw it worthwhile to marry her.
As the two women laugh, I feel something hot begin to burn in my stomach. Viorica takes in a sharp breath beside me. Since I've become a maid in the palace, Ophelia has been nothing but kind to me, a mere servant. She has all the right to flaunt her status and title, yet she remains humble. I now know that this is why everyone at the palace loves her. Common women like her can only keep the man's attention for so long. I walk towards them without thinking.
Elion, I wouldn't...
You have no right to say those things about the queen.
Oh boy.
The two women are clearly surprised at my interruption. Both of them glare at me.
And you have no right to eavesdrop on us.
Eavesdropping? Anyone could have heard you. Their mouths fall open. One of the women looks at me for a long time and then sneers suddenly as if something has occurred to her. I thought you looked familiar. You're the Crown Princess's personal maid. I see you always following her around when she's in town. This is none of your business, girl. Why do you care so much for our opinions?
Perhaps it's because the girl idolizes the queen. Thinks she might also go from rags to riches.
When I turn back into a princess and I have power again, I'm gonna kick both your asses.
Mm-hmm.
What? Oh, you do have a point. They stand and advance toward me. Do you want the prince for yourself, girl? If a commoner can become the queen, it's not too difficult to imagine yourself as a princess, is it?
I was already a princess, bitch. How foolish. You're better off dreaming smaller dreams, girl.
The second I have my crown back, you are both losing your noblewomen titles.
Absolutely.
And then I'll give them to commoners, just to spite you.
Exactly.
They laugh and the irritation in my chest blazes into full-on anger. Is this what Ophelia has been dealing with for the past year? She's being treated so cruelly when she's done nothing but love the king. And I also ridiculed her just like this. I force myself to look at the cruel woman as I move my hand to the pendant hanging around my neck. I was just as cruel as them. I barely feel Viorica's hand as she rests it against my shoulder.
Elion, let it go. Her Majesty wouldn't want you to do this.
I cannot just let these two women talk about Ophelia like this. I pull away from Viorica and stand firm. The queen has a good heart. She is far more noble than either of you could ever hope to be. I think back on the times I was cruel to her. Ophelia could have easily reprimanded me for my behavior. She had that right as my stepmother, yet she's been nothing but kind to me. Ophelia never got angry at me, even despite my treatment towards her and my family. She's always treated others with kindness, even when they are cruel to her. Judging from the bitterness in your accusations, it seems like you are jealous of her. How pathetic. The other woman marches towards me, and my free hand instinctively moves to hold her hand just before her palm reaches my cheek. I will not tolerate any insults towards the queen. A soft light emanates from the pendant, and I could only stare at it in shock.
Yes!
Got another good deed. By defending Ophelia? The woman snatches her hand away.
How dare a peasant like you talk that way to us? Have you no manners?
You gonna be a peasant too before long, lady.
Mm-hmm.
I could ask the same. What happened to yours? How dare you?
Don't you know who we are, girl?
Nope, and ain't no one else gonna once I'm done with you. I will see you pay for your impertinence!
Our words have far more weight than yours ever will. I will go to the king myself
sure.
and tell him about how rude you were. I can pass on that message myself. Hey!
Hey! I turn and see Rod walking towards us, his expression cold. The two noblewomen hastily curtsy.
Oh, your highness!
Yeah, not so fucking prideful are you right now, huh? The noblewomen turn pale as Rod's eyes fall on them.
Actually, we have an important dinner engagement.
Yes, we do! The noblewomen curtsy before quickly departing. That's right, run away, bitches. What are you doing here without your guards?
What trouble have you gotten yourself into now? Tell him? Or is he not going to take that well?
I'm trying to play the character and think about what Elion would actually do.
Play the character!
I feel like she's pretty hung up on the fact that he doesn't really seem to trust her. Maybe she feels like he wouldn't believe her. Or if she was, like, trying to fake her way into a good deed or something. Do not tell him. It's nothing.
If you refuse to tell me what happened, I'll have to assume that the noblewomen were telling the truth about you. Elion has done nothing wrong.
Okay, I guess this is what happens.
In fact, I think Elion only did what you or Emmeline would have done had you heard the awful things those women were saying about your mother. What? She stood up for the queen when she didn't have to. Then why didn't you just say so?
Aha!
Oh.
Would you have believed me? Rod drops his gaze from mine.
You never gave me a chance to believe you, did you?
He would have believed me? How am I to know that? Rod is like a walking contradiction. Rod glances up again, this time to look at Virika.
We shouldn't keep you from returning home, Virika. I'll take Elion back to the palace.
Virika's eyes narrow, and she looks ready to say something, but Rod has already reached out for my hand to pull me along behind him. When we're out of sight of Virika's shop, Rod stops, releasing my hand as he turns to face me.
Did you really think I would refuse to believe you if you told me the truth?
You never liked me. You have no reason to believe me. Rod sighs, running a hand through his hair.
I told you that I would help you break your curse, right? That offer alone should be enough for you to know that I...
Rod turns away, suddenly looking embarrassed. Yeah, there it is!
I don't dislike you anymore.
You're expecting me to just assume that? How would I know unless you made that absolutely clear?
Well, I'm making it clear now.
I understand.
Anyway, thank you for standing up for my mother. It seems like you don't require my assistance in breaking your curse after all.
He gestures to my necklace.
Congratulations on your second good deed, Elion.
Suddenly tongue-tied, I find myself looking everywhere but at Rod. When I've once again gathered my senses, I turn to the road. My eyes narrow as I recognize the path we're on. This is not the way back to the palace.
No, it isn't. We're going to the Martian.
Why?
Because I was on my way there before I was forced to take a detour because someone was drawing attention to herself.
What? But Rod ignores me, and we walk the rest of the way to the Martian in silence. Waltz is the only person in the reception room when we enter.
Prince Rod. Princess. It's a little late for the two of you to be here. I had meant to be here earlier. Is Lady Parfait here?
Waltz nods.
I'll go get her. Wait here.
As soon as Waltz leaves us alone, Rod turns to me, his expression rigid. Rod steps closer and grabs my shoulders. Oh!
I wasn't able to say so earlier because we were out in public, but you should know just how much danger you're in now. You thought it was okay to go around on your own?
It was my day off today. It's not unreasonable for me to want time for myself.
Time to yourself? Don't you understand the meaning of be careful? Why would you do something as foolish as going into town alone?
I cannot help but bristle at his tone. Why are you so angry?
Because you're...
Rod trails off and looks away.
Because you're family. Rod.
Rod!
Just say it, Rod.
So you are finally acknowledging me as family?
Ugh.
I notice his cheeks turning red.
To be honest, you're less of a family member and more just important.
Important?
Because of all that you do for Emmeline. You're important to my sister, not to me.
He looks uncomfortable as he says the words, but I cannot help but marvel at his embarrassment. Why is he so embarrassed? But Rod changes the topic as he turns away from me.
Why were you with Why were you with Viorica? I can only think of one reason you'd speak to her.
Oh, now he's all to us!
My curse. You thought you'd find out about my curse through her.
Guilty as charged. I shrug. I can only assume that your curse has something to do with Viorica. I look up when Rod says something, and then stare at the curious sight before me. He's taken Sebi off his shoulder, and is holding the doll in his hands away from his face.
Oh.
The two seem to be engaged in some silent conversation, and then gently Sebi speaks words I can hear.
This is the right thing to do. You need to let her help you, Rod.
Ugh.
Rod bites down on his lower lip before briefly closing his eyes. Eventually he returns Sebi to his usual spot on his shoulder, and turns to me.
Fine. You're stubborn and you're not going to quit investigating until I tell you, huh? Are you? You're right. Viorica is the reason I was cursed.
Rod settles down on the settee and lets out a heavy sigh. His eyes are far away as he speaks to me.
I was in love with Viorica, but I wasn't brave enough to tell her. I just followed her around like some kind of puppy. One day Viorica hadn't come home and it was raining very heavily, so I went out to look for her. I found her walking along the bank of the river. I called out to her to tell her to be careful, but I don't think she ever heard me. She slipped and...
Rod swallows. He clenches one of his hands into a fist.
She fell into the river. I dived in after her. I somehow managed to get both of us onto the riverbank, but it didn't look like Viorica was breathing. I didn't know what to do. I started panicking. I ran off to try and find help, but I couldn't find anyone in the storm. When I returned, she was gone. I rushed to her house, and a doctor was already there tending to her along with...
Desamond. Rod's gaze is vacant as he nods.
When Viorica began to fall in love with Desamond, I felt helpless.
Did you not tell her that you were the one that saved her?
Why would I? Viorica was so happy believing that she and Desamond were fated to be together. I couldn't do that to her.
But surely if you told her... Rod interrupts me.
I want the people I love to be happy. I don't care if their happiness causes me pain. I'd rather bear that alone instead of bringing down those around me.
My chest aches as I watch Rod's face. I never would have guessed that Rod would be so... selfless.
But that didn't stop me from thinking that I could still make her love me instead. I decided to become what I thought Viorica wanted most. The prince of the charming fairy tales she so adored.
Oh my god.
And so...
We were wrong!
What the fuck?!
He didn't make a deal to save Viorica's life. He made a deal so that the king would marry his mother and he would become a prince.
Oh my god! That is so many more layers to this onion than I thought. Does that mean that he literally would not have married her? He would not have married her if not for Rod? So I asked the witch to turn...
Maybe they were, like, in hiding or something? After threats from our
I
mom?
have no idea. Oh my god.
Maybe he didn't know where they were? I don't know.
And so I asked a witch to turn me into one. She stole my voice in exchange. Only then did I realize that she had inflicted the fairy tale curse upon me. The mermaid's curse. The next day the king turned up at our house, claiming that he'd been looking for my mother for years.
Oh my god, no!
Loving her. This is 15 layers of fucked up!
What the fuck?
This only happened because of Rod's wish? You know what? No, I hate the king! Fuck the king! Fuck the king! What a horrible man! The next day the king turned up at our house, proclaiming that he'd been looking for my mother for years, and that he'd never stopped loving her. When the king married my mother, I became a prince. It was just as the witch promised. But it didn't matter. I didn't see it when I made the deal with the witch, but I couldn't be blind to it forever. Jessamine and Viorica really do love each other. They make each other happy. Nothing I can do will ever change that.
Rod,
Oh, Prince Rod! Oh!
Damn it, lady.
God damn it, you fucking...
Parfait pauses in her tracks when she sees
You
me.
tragic backstory block!
Have I interrupted something?
No.
Rod moves over to Parfait, but he stops to glance back at me.
It won't be long.
Parfait looks at Rod and then at me, her face puzzled. She does not say a word as Rod and her leave the room. The king never would have married her.
That's fucked up! I don't like the king.
What if he straight up didn't even have feelings for her and Rod just, like,
Forced it.
forced it?
There are so many layers of fucked up to this family.
I did not get the chance to discuss Rod's curse with him later that night, nor did I get the chance to speak with Parfait and Delora about my suspicions of Sir Alcaster. Days go by, but I still find myself overwhelmed by preparations for the ball. Things become more frantic every day, making it difficult for me to have any time to speak with anyone. Eventually, I decide to write a letter containing my suspicions of Sir Alcaster. I tell Parfait and Delora that I believe he might be the witch they're looking for. I also add that I believe Fritz may somehow be involved, though my suspicions are not as well founded with him. To make matters worse, he went and disappeared. I've not heard anyone mention his name here for a very long time. What the hell happened to Fritz?
I don't know.
Where?
Fritz?
Wait. Fritz disappeared.
Fritz?
And we're only hearing about it now?
What the fuck? Fritz?
Where did he go?
Where you at?
I'm forcefully pulled from my thoughts when I collide with someone. The linens I've been holding scatter over the floor. Excuse me, I did not... I look up and my voice, oh no, trails off when I see who I bumped into.
I knew it. Lost in your thoughts?
Sir Mithras looks at me, something veiled in his smiling eyes.
He's not smiling. Now he is. I suppose those are the linens the Queen asked for.
Yes, please excuse me. I begin gathering up the linens, but as I reach out for one, Sir Mithras picks it up first.
Allow me to help you.
Please don't. I will be fine.
This was partially my fault. Let me assist you.
I bite my lip and do not protest as Sir Mithras helps me gather the rest of the linens. I'm contemplating my schedule for the rest of the day, when I realize that Sir Mithras has been talking.
I don't suppose you have any idea on who that maid is?
What? Maid? There is a cold amusement in Sir Mithras's gaze.
Surely you're having... Oh no. Surely you've heard the rumor of the young prince having been seen with a royal maid somewhere around town. Rumor has it that Prince Rod has found love among the common folk, much like his royal stepfather has.
Rod with a maid? As far as I'm aware, the only maid he's been out with in town has been... I freeze as Sir Mithras straightens. patting down his clothes for dust before holding out some of the linens to me.
If it is true, I wish him the best, though I wish he would be more discreet about it. A royal scandal is the last thing we need right now.
I shakily take the linens from Sir Mithros as he inclines his head to me.
Have a good day, Elion.
I walk to the dining hall in a haze, my mind whirling with the implications of what Sir Mithros just said. I'm sure it was those noblewomen who spread this rumor.
Oh, Elion, thank you for bringing these to me. Just leave them on the table.
I curtsy after placing the linens down as commanded. If that is all...
Elion? Oh no.
I straighten at the tone of Ophelia's voice. When I look up, I see her expression is carefully still.
I'm about to ask you something that you might not want to answer, but I very much hope you will.
I will answer if I can.
Good.
Ophelia sighs as she sits down on one of the dining table chairs and folds her hands in her lap.
I've been trying to ignore it since palace gossip is mostly false, but I can't help my curiosity. I wanted to ask about your relationship with my son. I'm almost near fucking him, Ophelia, alright? We're very close.
What?
I understand that you and Rod were out together in town a few days ago. Do you want to tell me what happened?
Dismissing it's not gonna help.
Nope, it's better we be honest. Probably.
I think we we didn't even do anything bad!
We were seen with the prince, that was bad enough.
But we can just say that all he did was save us from some rude bitches.
Yeah, we'll see.
If Ophelia is asking me about these rumors, then I can only imagine what sort of story those women made up. Remember, these are the ladies who accused the queen of being a whore, basically.
Okay, that's right.
Prince Rod was just on his way somewhere when he chanced upon me. When he saw that I was in trouble with two noblewomen, he stopped to intervene. That is all.
Rod said the same thing.
Then why did you ask me, Your Majesty?
To see what you thought about the situation.
To test if we would lie!
I don't think anyone should get a say in what your relationship with Rod is.
My relationship with Rod?
I like you, Elion, and I'm certain that you're good for Rod. If I had my way, I would let him court you.
I feel heat in my cheeks as I trip over my words. The prince and I are not in a relationship. A member of the royal family cannot end up with a servant.
Where there's love, there's hope. Social status shouldn't stop you from being happy, Elion.
Then what about the fact that I'm Rod's stepsister?
Look, you hated each other before, you didn't treat each other like siblings, and you're not actually related. Let us be as unproblematic as possible, please, Elion.
I bite down on that statement fiercely. I already know what role I'm playing here, and I cannot break it. Ophelia looks at me with a complicated expression before she sighs.
I will not push you on this any further. But be careful, Elion. Your closeness with my son and daughter has not gone unnoticed.
Uh-oh.
I do not believe in limiting relationships because of one's status, but...
I understand. I curtsy as I move towards the dining hall's entrance. What did Ophelia mean by that closeness not going unnoticed?